Mike Wilbon. Tony, Angelina Jolie says she has a new tattoo on her forearm that honors Galileo.
I'm Tony Kornheiser. Careful. I got one on my thigh that honors Scott Brooks, and then he got canned. And I got to get rid of the Randy Whitman one also, and that's in a really sensitive area. I got to get rid of that.
You better stop with the Wizard coaches, although if you got Eddie Tapscott, that would be impressed. He'd be impressed with that. I would too.
Yeah. I don't have that one.
So
I love Eddie Tapscott.
I know you do. I can't
Welcome
believe you
to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, the Celtics trade Kemba Walker, Bryson DeChambeau video bombs Brooks Koepka, and the Diamondbacks set a record for being lousy. But we begin today with the Milwaukee Bucks going wire to wire to defeat Brooklyn by 15 points last night. Kevin Durant scored 32 for Brooklyn, but it took him 30 shots to get it. Chris Middleton and Giannis Antetokounmpo were much better. They combined for 68 points and 27 rebounds, and they shot 23 for 36. Wilbon, does Milwaukee's performance lead you to believe they can go to Brooklyn and win Game 7?
They can. Yes, Tony. And you outlined all the important numbers, all of them. And then if there's one that's even more important, it's 0. Number of three-pointers jacked up by Antetokounmpo. None. He didn't do it. He kept his big, strong, quick, fast, talented self in the space where he should be, Tony, which I've been screaming for even the previous series. He kept himself near the basket and did his work there and stopped jacking up those shots. Now, we know they can do it. Will they? I mean, that's the first smart game that the Bucks have played in this series. They should have won the series already if they had taken the same tact, particularly with Antetokounmpo. But, Tone, do I have faith that they will go with that same recipe? I don't know that I have that faith. What about you?
Okay, so yes, I agree with you that they can win, all right? And one of the ways they could win is if P.J. Tucker was able to do to Kevin Durant again in Game 7 what he did in Game 6.
Right.
Because Tucker was plus 30 and Durant was minus 7. But, Mike, Game 6 was not critical for Brooklyn. They had a game to play with because the critical game for them was Game 5 and they won it. So far, every home team has won. You have to tell me why that's going to change now. I look back on Game 5 and I see Kevin Durant scoring 49 points. He's a great, great player. I somehow have faith that if it's up to him to win Game 7 at home, he's going to win it.
There's no, logical argument against that. There just isn't. I mean, last night, though, I'm sitting with Stephen A., and I acknowledge how dumb it is to pick Milwaukee even at home. And I know you're going home road. I'm looking at just sort of how teams play. And Kendrick Perkins and each one of us said, we're going to do the dumb thing here and pick Milwaukee, in part because they're healthy, Tony. Kyrie Irving, we've just been told, is not going to play Game 7.
He's not going to play.
So you got no Kyrie. Right. Look, I think Harden could be moving toward the 20-point area where he looks more like James Harden. He had a couple of flashes of that last night. Don't know that that's possible. But, man, it's still on Milwaukee, Tone. It's still on how they go about doing what they do and whether they're going to do it sensibly or start jacking up threes.
Well, let me go to the threes for a second. They are averaging, and let me get the number correct, 28% in this series from 3. Oof. But in the regular season, Mike,
40,
they average 39%, which is wonderful. If they have a hot night from 3, they can win. The big 3 for Brooklyn, if they play together, nobody beats them, including Milwaukee. But they don't play together because one guy never plays.
Yeah, at least one never plays, Tone. Brad Stevens made his first major move as head coach of the Celtics. Stevens sent Kemba Walker and the team's number 16 overall pick to the Thunder for Al Horford and Moses Brown. So Stevens dumped some salary while getting back a player he coached for 3 years. And Thunder boss Sam Presti now has 18 first-round picks, Tony, in 18 seconds over the next 7 years. So what's more intriguing to you, what Stevens is doing or what Presti is doing?
I'm going to say Stevens, and I'm going to remind people of your just little small mistake. It wasn't his first big move as coach. It was his first big move as GM.
Right, as GM.
Right, as GM. So what I find intriguing is he coached Kemba Walker for 2 years. He's in the job for an hour and a half, and the first thing he does is get rid of Kemba Walker. All right? And he brings in Al Horford, a guy who walked out on him personally.
They never should have let walk. Yeah.
A couple of years ago. And then was nothing in Philadelphia and was nothing in Oklahoma City, though in Oklahoma City they were trying to tank, so he didn't get that much opportunity. All of this tells me two things. One, it tells me that Brad Stevens thought so little of Kemba Walker as a player that he shipped him out immediately, even before a new coach came in who might lobby Brad Stevens to keep him. He didn't want to keep him at all. And the second thing it taught me, because they're now going to need to get a lead guard, trade, free agent, draft, whatever. The second thing it taught me is that Kyrie Irving's decision killed that team. It destroyed that team.
It hurt him bad, Tony. But so did letting Al Horford walk. And I understand he walked. He wasn't traded. He walked. Al Horford said, okay, I'm going to go. He didn't really want to go. He didn't want to go. And they shouldn't have let him go. And they made a major mistake. Danny Ainge made that mistake, and it might have been with Brad Stevens' blessing. Maybe, apparently not, because he got him back. So, Tony, what intrigues me more is Presti. Tony, how many picks can you have? How many picks do you need? This looks like, and Presti, I mean, it seems like he really knows what he's doing, but this seems like the process on steroids, right? And the process could be out of work, depending on what happens to the Philadelphia Sixers, even later tonight, as soon as tonight. So, but I'm looking at all these picks, Tone. You need about 3 or 4 picks. And Presti, when he had top picks, he has put them to work. And they have been the right picks way more often than not. So he's comfortable with that. And they're not getting any free agents, Tone. It ain't going to be a destination. Oh, let me wake up this morning and go to Oklahoma City unless you are from that part of the world. So I think actually what Presti's doing, I'm more intrigued by it than the traditional way Boston's going about what it's doing.
If Sam Presti were a football general manager, I'd tell you, watch out for this team in the next 2 years.
Yeah.
But you only have 2 picks a year that you can use, and you can only put 12 active people on the court and carry 15. So I don't understand this unless he's going to package them to trade them. Because to me, Mike, in the NBA, draft picks are sort of like Bitcoin. Nobody really understands what they do. You only need one.
But you got to trade. If you can't get people with free agency, Tony, you got to get them another way. Trades can do that.
We move to baseball. Arizona lost again last night in San Francisco, stretching their consecutive losing streak on the road to 23, the most in modern baseball history. 23 in a row on the road. It's Arizona's 14th straight loss, regardless of venue. And the Diamondbacks are 2-28 in their last 30 games.
Wow.
Wilbon, you live in Arizona. This was a good franchise. What happened?
Tony, and not just do you go from good and there's a steady decline. They popped up. They weren't even as bad last year. Not epic awful. Not, oh my God, shield the children's eyes from this team. Tony, I don't know that anybody really has a solution or answer. First of all, while the Suns are going like this, nobody's even paying attention. And you got this promising football season on deck, with whatever, the third season of Kyler Murray. You got these acquisitions. You got J.J. Watt. You got all this, and it's like the Diamondbacks, I'm sorry, are they still in business with the way they're playing? Tony, this is like the Orioles. Remember when you and I woke up after the Oriole way of like 50,000 years with Franks and Brooks and Earl Weaver and all these Cal Ripken, Eddie Murray, all these wonderful people who won a World Series, and they couldn't win a game? They are stuck in Oriole land from like, what was that, about 20 years ago? It's not, 2 or 3 years ago. It's unbelievable.
I'm glad you mentioned the Orioles, because I'm going to give you 2 statistics that are going to be mind-blowing. Okay, and I don't have the answer to why Arizona's bad, but you're going to love these. The last time Arizona won a game on the road was April 25th. April 25th, which is unbelievable. That was the night Madison Bumgarner threw a 7-inning no-hitter.
Right.
They won both ends of a doubleheader to go 11-11. They're 9-39 since. And thank you for mentioning the Orioles, because the Orioles stink almost as bad. The Orioles have now lost 19 in a row on the road. Okay? 19 in a row. The last time they won on the road, May 5th, that was the day John Means threw a no-hitter. A no-hitter. A real one, a 9-inning one. They were 15-16 that day. They're 7-30 since. Are you telling me the only way these teams can win on the road is to throw a no-hitter? That's it? That's
Apparently,
all they've got?
That's all they do.
Wow.
They're bad.
Wow.
Historic
Let's take a
stinky.
break. Coming up, what's the best word to describe Bryson DeChambeau popping up behind Brooks Koepka?
And how best to describe Braden Point putting the puck through 3 sets of legs last night.
See, the Orioles, their ownership is bad right now. I don't know if Arizona's ownership is bad. Is it the manager, the GM? Is it injuries? What is it? What is
nobody's
it?
The Interruption is brought to you by Fairlife. Bring more to the table with Fairlife Ultra Filtered Milk.
Made your choice?
You're simply the best.
Get 5G coverage that goes yard. T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, most reliable 5G network.
That Starbucks coffee feeling, made ready.
Every road has its challenges. We say, bring them on. At Honda, we engineer each vehicle to outthink obstacles, to overcome difficult conditions. We engineer them for drivers who are determined to power through, just like you are. Rise to the challenge with the rugged performance of the Honda Passport, Pilot, and CR-V.
Customized car insurance, so you only pay for what you need. How much money can Liberty Mutual save you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2,807, $2,808. Yep, everything hurts.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Burger King, Chicken King.
Could there be a challenger to the Whopper's throne?
The Whopper better run.
Run, King! Run! The new hand-breaded Chicken. So good, it's giving us nightmares.
Your first thoughts about the game?
Well, we subbed in the captain at the right moment. Changed the formation to a line of 3. Captain, Ginger, line. Feels like this living room just witnessed history. You want to step up your game? Sub in the captain.
Fairlife is ultra-filtered milk with a capital but with 50% less sugar and 50% more protein. You can have delicious and nutrition. Fairlife ultra-filtered milk.
What if there was a bank that would float you $20 for a few days when you could really use it? Varo Advance, an extra $20 when you really need it. Welcome to a new kind of bank. Varo, a bank for all of us. Download the Varo app today.
Is someone trying to steal your Butterfinger? Call the BFI. Linda? No one lays a finger on your Butterfinger.
This is gonna be the best summer ever.
Come on, Luca!
Now streaming on Disney+.
There's something fishy with you two.
Disney and Pixar's Luca, rated PG, now streaming.
The wait is finally over. We're live at Wimbledon, and it's looking like a glorious day.
Come on, you're missing it!
We are at Wimbledon. The grass is looking as immaculate as ever.
15 years of age, a very first
Championship points.
It's oh so quiet. Shh, shh. It's oh so still. Shh, shh. And so peaceful until you blow up fuse. Sing boom, the devil cuts loose. Sing boom, so what's the use? I've fallen in love.
Sixers, Hawks, Jazz, Clippers. Tonight on ESPN.
I have put on the doctor's coat. Now it's time to give Wilbon his medicine, and what's the word? What's first?
Bryson DeChambeau's video bomb of Brooks Koepka was blank.
Perpetuating. It helps keep this blood feud alive. And in this case, DeChambeau is the antagonist. I used to say Koepka was the antagonist. In this case, it is DeChambeau. Now, he said he was just having fun, and it looked like he was just having fun. But if I'm Koepka, and I'm waiting for an interview, and somebody shows me this, and I already hate this guy, I'm thinking to myself, oh yeah? Wait till you see what I do next. And there's another wrinkle in this, Mike, that's very interesting. Okay, and I want to make sure I get this right. The terms. The Player Impact Fund, the old PIF. A lot of players like DeChambeau and Koepka are looking for that money. And you get money if you can prove popularity. And one of the ways you prove popularity, apparently, is through internet searches. Everybody is going to search for this and see this. So DeChambeau just put a lot of money in his pocket and Koepka's pocket. But as I say, I'm never going to accuse Koepka of being the only one starting this anymore.
This thing is the equivalent, the pro golfer equivalent of name, image, and likeness. It's just like, let me make some money just by showing up. My word is opportunistic. He saw an opportunity here. He saw a chance to sort of forget the money, because those two guys don't need that fund, even though it might be available to them, Tony, through the means you suggested. But it was funny. It was funny. It was laugh out loud. I've never laughed with DeChambeau. Like Koepka, I'm rolling my eyes thinking, can you get this guy out of here? He saw the opportunity. He jumped in. It was laugh out loud, funny, and opportunistic.
He had a good day today. DeChambeau, I think, was -2 today.
-2,
I think he had a good day. What's next?
Braden Point's go-ahead goal for the Lightning was blank.
Seeing eye dog is exactly what I'm saying. This puck went through the sets of legs of 3 different people, 2 Islanders and 1 Tampa Bay player. It went 5-hole, 5-hole, 5-hole. So that's 15-hole at this point. I don't know how that happens. This is hockey. It's not miniature golf. It's amazing that this thing happened. And I will tell you, let me tell you something about Point at this point, I like to say. He now has 11 goals, Mike, in 14 playoff games this year. He's got 1 goal in each of his last 6 games. He's Wayne Gretzky at the moment. And why do I mention Wayne Gretzky? Because in terms of career, Point has 33 goals in 58 playoff games. And that ranks 8th all time. That's 1 slot behind who? Your boy, Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah, Tony, the problem is there's no artistry at all. You want to compare him to Gretzky. But it's relentless. That's what it is. I mean, you look at most of the goals he scored. That one had a little flukiness to it. But Point is always camped out in front. He's swinging and spinning and turning and diving and deflecting. He's relentless. Barry Melrose talked about this last night and showed some other goals. And you're like, oh my God, relentless is it. He never gives up. The other team, and particularly the goaltender, must hate seeing him. His presence says we're going to score in some unorthodox way. So I ain't comparing him to Gretzky, but he's relentless, Tony. Kind of like, remember how Dino Ciccarelli was decades ago, where he is somewhere in front of the goalkeeper and he's going to wind up scoring, but it ain't Gretzky.
The comparison to Gretzky, I just meant that's goals per game in the playoffs, not total goals. He's not Gretzky. I was just trying to say something that will work for everybody. That's it.
Didn't work.
Let's take one last break. Still to come, the Yankees do something no team has ever done before.
And will the Sixers or Jazz force Game 7s tonight?
I don't know. I actually don't know about that.
I don't either. I'm intrigued to watch, though.
Tonight on SportsCenter, right after PTI, the NBA Playoffs Game 6 Survival Guide. How Joel Embiid and the Sixers and Donovan Mitchell and the Jazz can force a Game 7, including Stephen A. Smith's take, plus the story of the fantasy football loser who was sentenced to 24 straight hours inside a Waffle House, and new details on the next steps to expand the college football playoff. SportsCenter, right after PTI.
You can do better. Let's go get a freshly made footlong from Subway.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
Choose better, be better. And now save when you order in the app.
Subway, eat fresh.
Remember when driving was fun? It was an act of freedom, an inspiration. But somewhere along the line, cars just got boring. You deserve a car that thrills you. Like sports cars with 3 pedals, trucks that take you to incredible places, colorful crossovers, and cars loaded with technology. And there's a car company that believes that too. One that has been delivering thrills for over 80 years. This is the new Nissan.
Is this one of your State Farm commercials?
Yeah, sure is. Chris smiles and says, "Wow, love State Farm's surprisingly great rates." Then suddenly his body turns into a basketball.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Bullets are allergic to me.
Why don't you start seeing with your heart instead of your hate?
Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, rated R, now playing.
A lion! Ah, yes, the king of the jungle. Time for a Red Bull. Red Bull? Still, you'll never be faster than a lion. I don't have to be quicker than the lion, just faster than you. Red Bull gives you wings.
Dolly. What's better in here? Yes, fun in here. Dolly.
Hitting the road this summer? Not all 5G networks are created equal. T-Mobile covers more interstate highway miles with 5G than the other guys. T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, most reliable 5G network.
Introducing Vizzy Lemonade, the only lemonade hard seltzer with antioxidant vitamin C. All new Vizzy Lemonade. Step up your seltzer game.
At Whirlpool, we don't know how leaving the house less can make you need to eat more, or why the inside of the fridge is just so interesting. But we do know how to make appliances you can trust, day after day, after day, after day.
Put it on the floor, right to your door, finger roll or lobster roll. Deep dish. Then that goes swish. Winner, winner, thanks for dinner. For every moment, it's yours to savor. It's game time with DoorDash for every flavor.
If you want to be a winner, then get a turkey footlong from Subway. That's oven-roasted turkey, piled high with crisp veggies on freshly baked bread. So let's get out there and get those footlongs.
Now at Subway, buy 1 footlong in the app and get 150% off. Subway, eat fresh. Now streaming on Disney+.
Everything good is above the surface. Something's fishy with you two.
Could we even survive up here?
Disney and Pixar's Luca, rated PG, now streaming.
My name is Adam, and I was born in 1996. Technology has become synonymous with everything we do. I've changed a lot in the last 25 years. Shouldn't internet regulations change too?
Times have changed, but our focus remains the same. From your first steps to giant leaps to life lessons, for 100 years, Ridgewood Savings Bank has continued to support the needs of our communities, listening, lending, advising, and contributing. Recognized as the best regional bank for 2021 by Bankrate. Open your account today. Visit ridgewoodbank.com.
Happy time, people. Happy 46th birthday, Jeff Saturday. Saturday was Peyton Manning's center all those years in Indianapolis, including the year they won Super Bowl 41 over the Bears. Saturday was a 6-time Pro Bowler and the one whose eardrums rang the most when Manning screamed, "Omaha! Omaha!" at the line of scrimmage. Both are in the TV business now. Manning does great commercials and is about to be a game show host. Saturday analyzes football and does it with great appeal. On a personal note, it has been my experience as a newspaper writer covering football that centers are among the brightest people on offense. The center quarterbacks the line. He puts the guards and tackles in position to succeed on any given play. It is also centers who have to steady the ship and call out correct blocking assignments when the quarterback forgets the play that was just called in the huddle and calls a different one at the line for no apparent reason.
Tony, given that, and I agree with you, I've come up with Randy Cross, Jeff Bostic, who we know, and I did television with in Washington, Damian Woody, but there should be a lot more centers and maybe fewer quarterbacks. How about that? Although that's never going to happen because our bosses are not really going to acknowledge the centers, are they?
No, because they're not glamour people. They're not. Happy anniversary, Ray Allen. On this day 8 years ago, Allen saved the Miami Heat with this corner three to tie Game 6 with 5 seconds left and deny San Antonio the title on Miami's home floor. It went like this. LeBron banged a three off the rim. Chris Bosh overpowered Manu Ginobili for the offensive rebound, passed the ball to Allen, who knocked down the three from the right corner. In a rare coaching mistake, Greg Popovich had taken out Tim Duncan so the Spurs would be more nimble defending the three, but that gave Bosh the berth to get the rebound. The game went to overtime where Miami won by 3. Miami then won Game 7 for its second straight championship. This was Allen's second championship as well. His first was with Boston. When Allen left Boston for Miami as a free agent, his teammates Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Rajon Rondo turned on him with the fury of 10,000 suns.
Well, Pierce didn't really do that, Tony. The others did. But let me just say this. There's not nearly enough Ray Allen on television or any place else. We don't hear from him enough. We don't see him enough. Ray Allen, one of the smart, engaging, insightful guys to play basketball the last 40 years. I don't give a damn what the others think of him. I think Ray Allen is terrific, and everybody on that team owes him a debt of gratitude because he saved their butts.
Good for you standing up for Ray Allen when everybody else hated him.
Easy for me to do it. He's terrific.
Because he left. Happy trails to 3 Toronto Blue Jays. The Yankees turned a very weird triple play last night. If you're scoring at home, it went 1-3-6-2-5-6. The first time that combination of numbers has ever appeared in any of the 726 triple to tag out a sliding Bo Bichette, your standard 1-3-6-2-5-6. Normally, a triple play is a line out to an infielder who steps on a base for a force and throws to another infielder for a force, like 5-3 or 4-3, or a hard hit grounder for 5-4-3. This many numbers, Wilbon, feels like a lottery ticket.
This many numbers are a plague, and they're a plague on baseball, and they're worse than spin rate and launch angle, because nobody reporting this story, not apparently even you, appreciated what's important about it. It was fun. It was a little league play. Don't lead with the numbers. My God, they've even got you caught up in this junk now. Stop it. It's fun.
Because I kept score. I had my own scorebook and I knew how to write things. One correction. I stupidly said Kevin Durant was -7 last night. It was much worse. He was -25.
Way worse.
Quickly to the big finish.
Let's do it.
The Astros have at least 2 home runs in a record time, 10 straight games. Will the streak continue tonight?
No. Carlos Rodon is pitching. He's 6-2 with 1.89. They're not tagging him. Shohei is going to participate in Home Run Derby. You're excited about everything Shohei. This too?
Absolutely, and he won a Home Run Derby in Japan. I want to see it. Dirk Nowitzki will be a special advisor to Mark Cuban, help hire a GM and a head coach. Your thoughts?
This is the best that Dirk can do with his time. Dirk, please, there's so much aggravation coming your way. Game 3 between the Golden Knights and Canadiens tonight. Who you got?
I got Vegas, but I've been wrong a bunch lately. Last one, will the Sixers and the Jazz force Game 7s tonight?
I swear, I don't.